Dr. Nefarious really resurface after all these years just to try and take over the universe again?
Since the PlayStation 5 released last November, it has been slim pickings for exclusive titles on the new hardware. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is an important game in that regard. Insomniac Games has great form when it comes to the Ratchet & Clank series, but this needed to be great. It needed to warrant the struggle many have felt in trying to acquire a PlayStation 5. After all, we deserve a huge title to play on Sony's latest tech. Thankfully, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart delivers in every way imaginable. Not only does it highlight just how beautiful games look on the system, it plays like a next-generation title. Everything you loved about the PS4's Ratchet & Clank has been improved upon for a journey you'll likely never forget. With dimensions crossing paths and a new Emperor Nefarious threatening the Lombax's very existence, Ratchet has a very different fight on his hands. While he returns with Clank to fight new hordes of robotic enemies and a new threat, his counterpart from another dimension is the star of the show. Rivet is a strong and smart Lombax who has her own struggles, but she always comes out on top. The story of how the two Lombax cross paths is exciting and full of surprises. There are some awesome moments in Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart that I won't spoil here, but the adventure is one of the best so far. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart takes place across various different planets where you play as both Ratchet and Rivet. While there's little to differentiate between the two, both characters have their own personalities. Rivet is a troubled Lombax who has been through a lot. She may have had it rough, but her candour and wit set her apart from the lovable Ratchet. She speaks from the heart and fights whilst wearing it on her sleeve. Planets often focus on one Lombax at a time, but there are certain missions where they intersect. There are some magic set pieces that show off the high performance of the PS5. Ratchet and Rivet both have their moments in the spotlight, and it's filled with action unlike anything you've seen before. Some planets allow you to travel on a snail-like creature called a Speetle. These slimy friends see you speeding across the map with ease, experiencing a welcome change of pace. There are flying lizards you can travel on, a battle arena where you face off against waves of enemies for various prizes, epic boss fights, rail segments where you fly across the skies, underwater traversal, and perhaps the coolest element of all is the dimensional rifts. These rifts can be dashed through with a click of a button. Once a blue portal turns yellow, you can travel into them to teleport. They can give you an advantage during a fight or help you move across an area a lot faster. Although you do play most of the game as either Ratchet or Rivet, there are moments where you play as some of your friends. Puzzle levels where you control Clank are some of the coolest gameplay shifts in the entire game. You must use different orbs to place them across the puzzle in order to get a succession of fellow Clanks to the finishing line. If you're old enough to remember Lemmings, it's the sort of same vein there really. Some orbs will lower or lift obstacles in the way or make the Clanks jump higher. Other orbs will speed them up or open up electrical currents for you or both of the other Clanks to pass through. Another buddy of Ratchet's that occasionally pops up is Glitch. This is a small bug that gets placed into a terminal to remove a virus so it can be used by Ratchet. By controlling a little bug, you'll blast viruses and power up the terminal. While you don't get to use Glitch a lot, it's a nice departure from the chaotic gunplay and high-speed adventuring you often find yourself doing. Throughout Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Ratchet and Rivet will build up an impressive collection of weapons. There are so many different weapons you'll be able to unlock with bolts you've collected. Buzz Blades fire spiked blades at enemies, Headhunter is a sniper rifle with the ability to dish out a lot of damage, Warmonger is a missile launcher, Void Repulsor can fire at enemies but also hold a shield of protection, and the large Negatron Collider fires a focused beam of energy. There are tons more, and each one levels up the more you use it. By visiting Mrs. Zircon's shop, you can also improve a weapon's abilities with the Raritanium you found. Additional qualities unlock the more you upgrade, giving you everything from more bullets found when smashing ammo boxes to additional range and extra power. Using the myriad of weapons in a gunfight is out of this world. Battles are so frantic and a lot of fun. It's relatively easy to switch between the vast range of weapons, and you can even quick select between your 4 favourites by mapping them to the D-pad. Towards the end of the game, I was switching between everything because of the sheer amount of enemies. Combat is intense, invigorating, and utterly bonkers. Along with the impressive array of weapons, Ratchet and Rivet have some fancy gadgets that make traversal a walk in the park. Most are available in the early stages, and they range from gliding, phantom dashing through the air, wall running with magnetic boots, and more. Throw the dimensional rifts into the mix and movement is a breeze. It feels amazing drifting between fluid traversal and fiery combat. Insomniac Games has balanced them both to make for an almost perfect platformer. There are plenty of collectibles to find over the 9 planets, and some require you to wander off the beaten path or to travel through a purple portal to another dimension. It's during these hunts where the assorted mechanics can be used to their fullest. The planetary layouts are completely different. Some have smaller combat areas where you have little freedom, and others are much wider. You never feel restricted or lost though. Enemies can be found everywhere, as can bosses, and using the tight controls to get around is more than gratifying. While the game plays amazingly, it is the power of the PlayStation 5 that takes Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart to a new level. Insomniac Games has made full use of the PS5's capabilities. The DualSense controller hums, rattles and vibrates in many different ways depending on the situation. You feel every clack of a keyboard, the patter of your feet across metallic walls and the buzz of dimensional portals as you pass through them. I'll never forget how Astro's Playroom felt for the first time, but this offers a higher sense of wonder. Visually, it's sublime. So many times I felt like I was watching a Pixar movie instead of playing a video game. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is bursting with colour and detail, with each new planet you visit offering more appeal than the last. For the majority of my time with it, the performance of the game was excellent. There were only a few times it felt like it wasn't quite hitting 30 FPS in fidelity mode, but more often than not it ran very well. Getting around the planet, partaking in heated battles, and jumping from place to place in your ship was silky smooth. It's hard to find anything bad to say about it. The voice acting is superb, and the cutscenes are astonishing. So much is packed into it that the hours just fly by. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart sets a new bar for action platformers. It's hard to believe we are where we are with this level of technology. It makes great use of the hardware on offer, and it constantly impresses in every department. It features a great story, excellent gameplay, and there are tons of collectibles for those that love to 100% games. Insomniac Games has once again made something you'll be honoured to spend your time playing. This is the future of gaming, people, and that's why we're giving it a 9.5 out of 10. Hey there, if you enjoyed this review, do make sure you click the subscribe button and the bell so you're notified of other videos. And if you'd already done that, you may know there's a second Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart video that we've got for you, which shows off the DualSense in one particular early section, non-spoilery part of the game. It's really quite impressive and honestly made me stop and go, hang on, is that doing what I think it's doing? It was that impressive. If you enjoyed this review though, make sure you go to godisageek.com. That's our website where you find everything from news, features, guides, reviews. The lot is on there. And we also actually have a Patreon where we've got a lovely, lovely community. That's patreon.com/godisageek. I hate to harp on about it, but we've got a community of people there that we play games with regularly. You get free codes, you get all sorts of stuff over there, and it's worth having a look because it's £1 or $1 or whichever currency you choose per month. And yeah, we think it's worth having a look at. Thanks once again for watching this video, and yeah, bell, subscribe, comment, tell us if you're excited. We love to hear from you, so jump in the comments, and other than that, we will see you in the next video. Bye for now.